Hey guys, Dr. Ben here, Functional Medicine Center. So excited to have you on this video today. This one is near and dear to my heart. Many of the most loved people in my life have had autoimmune conditions and have reversed these. So this is just a true coming from my heart. This is what I love helping people with. So Dr. Ben here, Functional Medicine Centers. We are in Fort Collins, Colorado, Phoenix, Arizona. If you have any questions at all throughout this video, pop those down below. We love to answer questions. Even if I don't get to it during the video, we go back later and we will get through those. Like or follow this page if you have not already. If there's anybody that you know out there that is dealing with autoimmune, share this with them. Share this with as many people as possible. We have to get hope out there. We have to show people what is happening. So here's what happened in my life. My mom was diagnosed with MS when I was a junior in high school, went on disability when she was a senior, when I was a senior, and she ended up getting a cane, getting a wheelchair. They retired, moved down to the southern part of Missouri. Hey, good to see you out there in the Philippines. They retired down to Missouri and found a great doctor. I was in school at the time, and it really made a huge difference in the path that I went down in this truly healing modality that we're able to do. And she was able to get rid of her wheelchair, get rid of her cane, got off all the medications, and her last MRI, probably 15, 20 years ago, no more plaquing on that MRI. She's 77, going to be 78 next month. If you're watching, Mom, happy birthday coming up. And here's the thing, there's no more plaquing. She does granny boot camp, she fishes in Alaska, goes all over the place, does all types of different things. So this can heal. My wife had autoimmune after a MMR vaccine going into college. 2 weeks later developed ITP, thrombocytopenia, and the body started attacking its platelets. They put her on prednisone, and she's like, I don't want to be on prednisone forever. They said, oh, no big deal, we'll take out your spleen. They took out her spleen, and guess what? She did not get better. She still had a lot of autoimmune symptoms. A lot of different things were going on. We had to go through system by system by system and stop the damage that was taking place. So I'm going to tell you today how people reverse their autoimmune conditions. I've seen it firsthand. We've seen it in practice over and over and over again. And this is whether somebody has Hashimoto's, whether they have alopecia, they're losing their hair, whether they have rheumatoid arthritis or lupus or MS, 190 named autoimmune conditions. When you put them all together, they're the third leading cause of death, autoimmune. Why is that? Well, because we would put them together because they all have similar underlying reasons why that immune system is going haywire. So stick with me here. We're going to get a little bit technical today, but if you've got any questions at all, pop those down below. Also, while we're going through this, let me know where you guys are watching from. I love to see where everybody is. Give me thumbs up, thumbs down. Give me feedback if you guys are experiencing any of these things as well. So when I start thinking about it, I put autoimmune in the middle of this circle, and it doesn't matter what somebody is dealing with, whether that was my mom with MS, my wife with ITP, whether that's a patient with rheumatoid arthritis that comes in, a 12-year-old with ANA lupus markers. It doesn't matter. We've got to just come from this perspective of what is causing this autoimmune. Hey Dawn, good to see you. So the first thing that we look at and that can drive this are the adrenal glands. The adrenals are our stress glands. So many people have had a stressful event or a chronic stressful thing that is contributing to them. Hey Linda, for my mom, she was the teacher that got to school. She'd leave at 5:30 in the morning, get home at 5:30 at night, then grade papers all night. Hey Paula, good to see you. And she just kept going and going and going until her body shut down. And this was a huge part of it. Some people, it's a stressful event. They go, oh, that's when my dad died and I had to deal with that. That's when this happened, or I got a divorce, or whatever it was. So the adrenals, major stressful events can drive that immune system to go haywire, and we've got to be able to calm that down, get out of that stress state. One of the things that we talk about all the time on these videos is blood sugar. That's why I wrote my book, Blood Sugar Doesn't Lie. You can get on Amazon. We Hey Eric, good to see you out there in California. Blood sugar is huge for what we're looking at. You've got to keep your blood sugar stabilized. We know that every time blood sugar goes up too high or down too low, it's going to rev up that immune response and we're going to destroy more tissue. So you've got to stabilize your blood sugar. You've got to keep it consistent all day long, not these swings like that. We also know the number one stressor to the adrenal glands is blood sugar swings, especially blood sugar dips. So you've got to get that blood sugar stabilized. This is one of the reasons we started using the blood sugar monitor, why we started having people poke their fingers, because we know that if somebody's blood sugar is going up too high or crashing down too low, we know that that is going to be a huge part of this. Hey Kayla, thanks for the positive words there. So we've got to stabilize that blood sugar. Why are autoimmune conditions? We have 8 women for every 1 male, 8-to-1 ratio of female to male. One of the reasons for that is estrogenic events. And some guys that are having low testosterone and their testosterone's going into estrogen and they're getting man boobs, yes, they're having estrogenic events, but for the most part, it's going to be that women are getting autoimmune around some type of estrogenic event. Almost every single person that we see, we can look back, especially a female, they'll say, oh yeah, it was after that second or third kid I got my Hashimoto's. It could be in teenage years when they hit puberty. It could be going through menopause. Hey Kim, good to see you. It could be going through any number of hormonal changes, estrogenic changes, is going to drive that autoimmunity. So one, we've got to make sure the body's in as good a state as possible to get through that. 2, we've got to make sure that the body can eliminate these estrogens like they need to. All right, another thing that we look at is vitamin D. Vitamin D, think about it as modulating that immune response. It'll turn it up at the right time and turn it down at the right time. We don't want our immune system up too high all the time. This is a problem. Somebody just commented on one of our posts this morning and they said, oh, I never get sick. That is red flag number 1 that I hear from patients. If they say, I haven't been sick in 5 years, everybody else gets sick, I don't get sick. Usually that means that the immune system is so revved up that they're dealing with this autoimmune issue, and it's going to start attacking anything that comes into the body, viruses, bacteria, whatever, but also your own tissue. So vitamin D is huge for that modulation. We like vitamin D around 80 if somebody has autoimmune going on. So get your vitamin D tested. If you haven't yet, get it tested. If you just want your vitamin D tested, we can do it in the office here in Fort Collins or in the Phoenix location. Even if you're not a patient, we can get that run and get that tested. So you've got to get your vitamin D balanced out there. 80 is a great level if somebody has autoimmune going on. So again, anybody jumping on, we're talking about autoimmune conditions. We're talking about how people are able to reverse these. I've seen it personally. In my mom reversed her MS. My wife healed from so much. She had autoimmune to the brain. She had ITP, all these different ones. We see it in practice. We've seen people heal from their MS, heal from their RA, their lupus, all types of different conditions, and even be able to get off different medications. Your body can heal if given the right tools. So adrenals, stressful events, blood sugar, estrogenic events, vitamin D. Then we have different types of infections are going to drive that, which makes sense because if your body gets a virus, if your body gets some type of infection, it can drive up that immune response. Hey Paula, how many milligrams of vitamin D per day? It all depends on where you are. Some people come in and they're at 16 on their vitamin D levels in the blood work. Other people are at 32. Those 2 people are going to need different amounts of vitamin D, so you've got to get it tested. Then pop us a line and let us know, and we'll give you some ideas on what you might need to be taking. Different types of infections, especially viral infections, can drive autoimmunity, and this is going to be a big part of where that immune system goes haywire. It just gets so revved up, so attack, and it starts attacking its own tissue. Some people have even seen the research out there, I'm sure, where Epstein-Barr, that's a monovirus, is actually can settle into the thyroid or different parts of the body, and the body's trying to get into that tissue and it's attacking its own self. So infection is a huge part of this. Epstein-Barr, I've got an article on my webpage. We talk about that in depth in there as well. And then we look at everybody's favorite, gluten and potentially other food allergens, but gluten is one of the biggest ones, especially for Hashimoto's, especially for some of these major autoimmune conditions that are out there. Food allergens, especially gluten, can mimic the different tissues. So the body's revving up that immune system, attack, and also attacking its own tissue. So you're trying to get rid of the gluten or whatever else it is, and you ultimately end up attacking your own tissue. So for someone with Hashimoto's, the research shows every time you eat gluten, you can rev up that immune response, not just for that day or that week, but for up to 6 months. It can be revved up and attacking its own tissue. So you've got to heal that up. Then we talk about leaky gut. I've got many videos on what leaky gut and what we can do. Check out our YouTube page. We've got them all on there, and you can search them alphabetically and find different videos. Great way to watch it, easier than on the Facebook app. So leaky gut is a huge part of this. Leaky gut is where that small intestine lining is damaged. The small intestine is where we're absorbing foods into the bloodstream, but it's also a barrier. So we're trying to keep things out and allow them in at the right time. But guess what? When we have leaky gut, when that gut has been damaged from antibiotics, from NSAIDs, which is like ibuprofen, Advil, Tylenol, aspirin, those type of things, from chronic stress, from infections in the gut, from all these different things, we've got this damage there. We're getting things into the bloodstream too early, and we're going to attack it, create this bigger response, create that autoimmunity. So again, adrenals, stressful events, we've got to deal with those things, get the adrenals built up. Blood sugar, we've got to stabilize it. Estrogenic events, you've got to make sure that your body is eliminating those. Yeah, hey Damon, good to see you out there in California. It doesn't matter what type of autoimmune condition. Some of these I haven't ever seen before or heard of before. Again, there's 190 named autoimmune conditions. Third leading cause of death when you lump them all together, but it's the same general idea when we start thinking about this. We've got to address each and every one. Not everyone's going to have an infection. Not everyone's going to have vitamin D off, but we've got to go through and whatever that person is dealing with, fix each and every one of these. Environmental issues can cause it as well. So I've seen people that move into a moldy house and their immune system revs up. I've seen people work at companies that have a lot of chemicals. There's a windmill factory here in northern Colorado, and I've had multiple patients. One of them, she had autoimmune to her liver. She's 23 years old, and she was on the wait list for a liver transplant. We've helped her body heal up. She's got rid of it. She's off that transplant list. Her liver enzymes are fine, but that was driven by working at this windmill factory where they're spraying. A lot of the paint is just really, really intense. You can think about being out in Wyoming and in that wind all the time, and it just has to be very, very strong there. So environmental issues can be part of this as well. So again, we've got to take a step back. We've got to look at the adrenals. Let's balance out those adrenals, get them working better. Not too much adrenal activity, not too little adrenal activity. We'll get that stabilized. Blood sugar. We've got to start using a blood sugar monitor, figure out whether that blood sugar is going up too high or down too low. That's going to be a huge part of it. Environmental issues, make sure that you're using as clean of products as you possibly can, cleaning products, face products, all types of different things. Estrogenic events. This is one of the reasons why we see 8-to-1 female to male ratio in autoimmune conditions. Vitamin D modulates that immune response. You've got to get your vitamin D up close to 80 if you've got autoimmune conditions. Infections, we need to look at underlying infections, especially viruses, Epstein-Barr, some different things like that. Gluten and other food allergens, you've got to stay away from those. That's going to be a huge part of it. Hey, Julie, I'm guessing that it is a little windy there. And then leaky gut. Leaky gut is that small intestine lining. You've got to heal it up. 99% of the people that come in that are going to be dealing with this are going to need to heal up their gut lining. 99% of the people are so lacking integrity in their gut lining. It's a huge part of it. So here's the deal, guys. Autoimmune is reversible for so many people out there if they do what they need to do. If you can, or someone you love can step in, do the different things, work the different steps through this process, fix those, your body can stop damaging itself and potentially even heal from some of this damage as well. So take action. Hey Rick, good to see you. So Rick asked, where do every one of our blood work, we check rheumatoid factor, which is for rheumatoid arthritis. We check ANA, which is for lupus, scleroderma, Sjogren's, things like that. We also test both Hashimoto's antibodies, the TPO and the thyroglobulin. So you've got to know, first and foremost, do you have autoimmune going on? And then if you do, then there's things that you can do to go through that process of healing. So the first step is to get the blood work done, in-depth blood work, looking at each and every one of these systems that may be out of balance, and then we go through the process of just fixing step by step by step, helping the body to heal, because really there's nothing that I can do, nothing that any of my doctors or my metabolic coordinators at any of my facilities can do to fix you. All we can do is change these underlying whys, and your body has that healing potential inside of you. Hey Kirsten, good to see you. You know what, can you do this while you're pregnant? Absolutely. It's going to look a little bit different. Let's say we've got liver on here, and you're not going to be able to detoxify the same as somebody that's not pregnant. Estrogenic events, you're in the middle of an estrogenic event if you're pregnant at that time. The vitamin D, you can still do. The leaky gut, we can still do. The food allergies, you can still do. Balancing the blood sugar. So a lot of these things you can do even if you are pregnant, even if you are nursing, whatever it is, you can do these. If you are on autoimmune medications, you can work through these, and that's one of the big things that many people want to do, is they want to decrease the amount of methotrexate, which is low dose chemo, Humira, $10,000 a month, all these different drugs out there. People are looking for ways to decrease the amount that they have to take. That's not my number one goal, to get you taking the least amount of anything needed to get the desired result. So we want you strong, we want you vibrant, we want your body working as well as possible, and also taking the least amount of medications or anything else that is going on. So again, this is that gold standard of how we have to look at the body, how we're able to figure out exactly where those imbalances are, and then myself and my metabolic coordinators and doctors around the country, we take you by the hand and go through system by system by system and get you where you need to be. So if you or a loved one is dealing with autoimmune, give them hope. You've got an ability to heal inside of you. That innate wisdom inside of you has the ability to heal, and you've got this. If you've got any questions, pop those down below. Even if you're watching this video later, we check them, so ask any questions that you have. We love getting this information out there. So everybody have a wonderful day. Keep that body strong. Take care.